These are 4 characters from a book. As a matter of fact, these 4 children have become sort of famous. I'll give you their names and you see if you can guess the book. This is Benny, and Jesse, and Henry, and Violet. Did you guess the book? If you said The Boxcar Children, you were absolutely correct. The Boxcar Children by Gertrude Chandler Warner. Now, these famous characters tried to make it alone, without any parents or anybody helping them. And if you're going to live alone in this world, you have to be careful about the people that you meet, because not everybody is fair and straight.
One warm night, 4 children stood in front of a bakery. No one knew them. No one knew where they had come from. The baker's wife saw them first as they stood looking in at the window of her store. The little boy was looking at the cakes, and the big boy was looking at the loaves of bread, and the 2 girls were looking at the cookies. Now, the baker's wife did not like children. She did not like boys at all. So she came to the front of the bakery and listened, looking very cross. "The cake is good, Jesse," the little boy said. He was about 5 years old. "Yes, Benny," said the big girl. "But bread is better for you, isn't it, Henry?" "Oh, yes," said Henry. "We must have some bread, and cake is not good for Benny and Violet." "Well, I like bread best anyway," said Violet. She was about 10 years old, and she had pretty brown hair and brown eyes. "That is just like you, Violet," said Henry, smiling at her. "Let's go into the bakery. Maybe they will let us stay here for the night." The baker's wife looked at them as they came in. "I want 3 loaves of bread, please," said Jessie. She smiled politely at the woman, but the woman did not smile. She looked at Henry as he put his hand in his pocket for the money. She looked cross, but she sold him the bread. Jessie was looking around too, and she saw a long red bench under each window of the bakery. The benches had flat red pillows on them. "Will you let us stay here for the night?" Jessie asked. "We could sleep on those benches, and tomorrow we would help you wash the dishes and do things for you." Now the woman liked this. She did not like to wash dishes very well. She would like to have a big boy to help her with her work. "Well, where are your father and mother?" she asked. "They are dead," said Henry. "We have a grandfather in Greenfield, but we don't like him," said Benny. Well, Jessie put her hand over the little boy's mouth before he could say more. "Oh, Benny, keep still." "Well, why don't you like your grandfather?" asked the woman. "Well, he's our father's father, and he didn't like our mother," said Henry. "So we don't think he would like us. We are afraid he would be mean to us." "Well, did you ever see him?" asked the woman. "No." "Well, then why do you think he would be mean to you?" asked the woman. "Well, he never came to see us," said Henry. "He doesn't like us at all." "Well, where did you live before you came here?" asked the woman. But not one of the 4 children would tell her. "We'll get along all right," said Jessie. "We just want to stay here for only one night." "Well, you may stay here tonight, and tomorrow we'll see what we can do." Well, Henry thanked her politely. "We are all pretty tired and hungry." The children sat down on the floor. Henry cut one of the loaves of bread into 4 pieces with his knife, and the children began to eat. "Oh, delicious," said Henry. "Well, I never," said the woman. She went into the next room and shut the door. "I'm glad she's gone," said Benny, eating. "She doesn't like us." "Shh, Benny," said Jessie. "She is good to let us sleep here." After supper, the children lay down on their red benches, and Violet and Benny soon went to sleep. But Jessie and Henry could hear the woman talking to the baker. She said, "I'll keep the 3 older children. They can help me. But the little boy must go to the children's home. He's too little. I cannot take care of him." The baker answered, "Oh, very well. Tomorrow I'll take the little boy to the children's home. Well, we'll keep the others for a while, but we must make them tell us who their grandfather is."
You see what I mean now about being careful around strangers. It's lucky that Henry and Jessie hadn't gone to sleep. They overheard what the baker and his wife said, and they knew that they had to get out of there right then. Well, they woke up Violet, but poor little Benny just couldn't wake up, so Henry had to carry him. And together, with $4, 2 loaves of bread, a bar of soap, and a bag of clean clothes, they ran away from the bakery. They traveled all night long, and when the sun rose, they found themselves in the country. And in the country, they found a nice, comfortable haystack, where they all made beds and slept all day long. You see, they decided it was best to travel at night, when nobody could see them. They knew that the baker and his wife would be out looking for them. The second night, they found themselves near a woods. They went into the woods and made nice beds out of pine straw. But that night it was very, very hot, and they noticed that clouds were covering the moon. They sensed that a storm was coming.
At last, Jessie opened her eyes. It was morning, but the sun was covered by clouds. She sat up and looked all around her, and then she looked at the sky. It seemed like night, for it was very dark. Suddenly it began to thunder, and she saw that it was really going to rain. "What shall we do? Where shall we go?" she thought. The wind was blowing more and more clouds across the sky, and the lightning was very near. Well, she walked a little way into the woods, looking for a place to go out of the rain. "Where shall we go?" she thought again. And then she saw something ahead of her in the woods. It was an old boxcar. "What a good house that will be in the rain!" Well, she ran over to the boxcar. There was no engine, and the track was old and rusty. It was covered with grass and bushes because it had not been used for a long time. "It's a boxcar. We can get into it and stay until it stops raining." Well, she ran back as fast as she could to the other children. The sky was black, and the wind was blowing very hard. "Hurry, hurry, I've found a good place. Hurry as fast as you can." Henry took Benny's hand, and they all ran through the woods after Jessie. "It's beginning to rain," cried Henry. "We'll soon be there. It's not far. When we get there, you must help me open the door. It's heavy." The stump of a big tree stood under the door of the boxcar, and it was just right for a step. Jessie and Henry jumped up on the old dead stump and rolled back the heavy door of the car, and Henry looked in. "There's nothing in here. Come on, Benny, we'll help you up." And Violet went in next, and last of all, Jessie and Henry climbed in. They were just in time. How the wind did blow! Well, they rolled the door shut, and then it really began to rain. Oh, how it did rain. It just rained and rained. The children could hear it on top of the boxcar, but no rain came in. "Oh, what a good place this is," said Violet. "It's just like a warm little house with one room." After a while, the rain and lightning and thunder stopped, and the wind did not blow so hard. Then Henry opened the door and looked out. All the children looked out into the woods. The sun was shining, but some water still fell from the trees. In front of the boxcar, a pretty little brook ran over the rocks with a waterfall in it. "What a beautiful place," said Violet. "Henry," cried Jessie, "let's live here." "Live here?" asked Henry. "Well, yes, why not? This boxcar's a fine little house. It's dry and warm in the rain." "Yeah, and we could wash in the brook," said Violet. "Oh, please, Henry," begged Jessie. "We could have the nicest little home here. We could find some dishes. We could make 4 beds and a table, maybe chairs." "No," said Benny. "I don't want to live here, Jessie." "Oh, dear, why not, Benny?" "Well, I'm afraid the engine will come and take us away." Well, Henry and Jessie laughed. "Oh, no, Benny," said Henry. "The engine will never take this car away. It's an old car, and grass and bushes are growing all over the track." "Then doesn't the engine use this track anymore?" asked Benny. "No, indeed," said Henry. He was beginning to want to live in this boxcar, too. "Well, we'll stay here today anyway." "Well, then, can I have my dinner here?" asked Benny. "Yes, you shall have dinner now." So Jessie took out the last loaf of bread and cut it into 4 pieces, but it was very dry. Benny ate the bread, but soon he began to cry. "I want some milk too, Jessie." "Well, he ought to have milk," said Henry. "I'll go to the next town and get some." But Henry did not want to start. He looked to see how much money he had, and then he stood thinking. At last he said, "I don't want to leave you girls alone." "Oh, we'll be all right, Henry," said Jessie. "We have a surprise for you when you get back. You just wait and see." "Goodbye, Henry," said Benny. So Henry walked off through the woods. When he had gone, Jessie said, "Now, children, what do you think we're going to do? What do you think I saw over in the woods?" "I saw some blueberries." "Blueberries?" cried Benny. "I know what blueberries are. Can we have blueberries and milk, Jessie?" "Yes," Jessie was beginning, but she suddenly stopped, for she heard a noise. Something was in the woods.
So now the children at least have shelter. How would you like to turn a boxcar into a house? Think of all the things you need to set up housekeeping. Well, they're going to find those things one by one. But there is one worry. Something, or somebody, is watching them. To find out who or what, you're just going to have to read The Boxcar Children by Gertrude Chandler Warner.